Welcome to Wild and Finally Fucking Free, hosted by me, soul-fueled storyteller Kylie Patchett. We dive into the truth-talking, unedited stories of metamorphosis, growth, and evolution. I deeply believe that sharing our stories holds transformative magic. Join us to listen to future humans, change agents, extraordinary ordinary people, healers, and paradigm shifters as we honor the power of our messy, magical stories. Let's get wild and finally fucking free together. Hello there, beautiful human. We are taking a break between season 3 of the Wild and Finally Fucking Free podcast and season 4. I love to take a little bit of time out in the wintertime and do a bit of hibernating. So whilst I go off and do that, and particularly today when it is sub-zero in my office, I have recorded 6 snack-size episodes all about some of the conversations that I'm having regularly with marketing and messaging clients. And I specifically work with the healers, the helpers, the people that want to contribute a massive difference to the world. They're very heart driven. And these are the conversations that I continue to have with them. So I'm calling this the Winter Storytelling Series, and there is 6 parts. You're about to listen to one of them. They're all 5 to 8 minutes long, so very snack sized. And then my heartfelt invitation to you is that if you are sick of trying to share your message in a way that feels out of alignment, or you're trying to find the right words to capture something that is quite nebulous, like if you're an energy worker or an acupuncturist or something like that, I have made something for you. It is called Storytelling 101, and it is about how to capture the magic of who you are as a human, who you are as a healer and a helper through the power of storytelling. So I've broken down all of the key bits that you need to know about storytelling and the difference between that and more formulaic head-based copywriting, but also to help you share yourself and be completely seen and heard in amongst all the other noise out there, but in a way that doesn't feel like you're out of alignment with your values and your desire to contribute. You can head to download your free version of the free Storytelling 101 guide at www.kpcreative.com.au/storytelling 101. And that is also in the show notes. So let's dive in to one of the 6 snacks. Hello there. This is our final part of our 6-part winter storytelling series, a series of 6 snack-sized episodes whilst I take a winter hibernation break. In Australia, it is freezing in country Queensland. So this last episode I have called Fortune Favours the Brave. And it's kind of a coalition of a lot of different things that I've been going through in my own business that have kind of reinforce some key messages for me that I thought would be helpful for you. I've had these conversations with a couple of clients in the last week, and I guess I've spoken about these 2 people before in this series, but Simone Saul and Sam Garcia from Regenerative Business just did a workshop called Cold Pitch Magic. I will put the link in this show note as well. Because I believe even if you weren't there live, that you can go and, listen to the replay. And there was some key gold in that. And so one of Simone's things that she said, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically the point is the quickest path to the business growth that you desire is to take emotional risk. And she talks about that in terms of the way that you share, the way that you copyright, the way that you operate a business, et cetera, et cetera. And then on top of that, Sam and Simone had this conversation that I just found, like I've often used this term on this podcast and in real life, like I had a chiropractic adjustment of the soul. They were talking about in this pitch masterclass, pitching people that have, for instance, a larger community or higher social media followers, and you want to pitch them to be, say, on your podcast or contribute to a project, or maybe I don't know, do an Instagram live or whatever your pitch is. And they were talking about the fact that often when we see that people have larger communities, or in our perception, they are more successful or more this or more that, whatever. And again, this comes back to a systems of oppression way of thinking, is like one person is above me and one person is below, and one person wins and one person, wins less or whatever. They actually had this great conversation about forms of wealth. And one of them, I actually can't remember which one, I think it might have been Sam, said, what form of wealth do you have that you are discounting when you go into this sort of pitch process, thinking that you're less than the person that you're pitching? And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. Now, Sam talks a lot more about this different forms of wealth in her business, Regenerative Business. I'll also link in the show notes. And they gave us a little while to actually write down what's the wealth that you're discounting. And I actually, like, they're talking about spiritual wealth or relational wealth, or, so many different forms of wealth, not just, physical coin, and not just the amount of followers, or not just time in business. And what I love about this approach is it's really asking you, what are you discounting as the whole human parts of yourself as not important compared to either money or reach or reputation or whatever? And they gave us a couple of minutes to reflect on that. So I'd really love, if you're somewhere that's not the car, or you're not kind of striding through town on your way to work, if you can, pause this. Well, actually, not yet. The question is, what forms of wealth are you discounting as unimportant when you're thinking about, taking a risk or pitching someone or whatever? If you've got the time, pause right here and have a couple of minutes to just marinate in that question. And if you don't have the time, I'll just continue anyway. So what I came up with, my 3 forms of wealth that I have in spades, is energy generally, enthusiasm, and generosity. And I have been discounting those, but if I find something that I absolutely love, like I'm doing it in this episode, I have found 2 people I really admire who do marketing and business in a completely different way to the general industrialized, extractive way of doing business. And I'm sharing about them because I have got value from something that they've put out in the world. And so I want to share it. Like, if it helped me, maybe it might help you. So that sense of generosity is one of my forms of wealth. But every single person listening to this will have a form of wealth, or multiple, that you are currently discounting as not important when you think about either, and it can be in all areas of life. I'm not just talking about business growth. I'm talking about, I don't know, like if you're single and you feel attracted to someone and you really want to ask them out, but there's this kind of barrier in your head that's like, oh, I can't do that because of blah, blah, blah. Like, what are you actually not seeing about yourself? And I think the other thing that Simone said in this workshop that really stuck with me is, it's not about getting the yes to these big risks or these big pitches. It's about actually putting yourself out there in a way that values you as a valued contributor to the fabric of humankind. And the more that you treat yourself like that and act like that, the more that you will continue to amplify that sense of like, I do belong here. I do belong here. I do belong here. This is not just a playing field where I am just this, I don't know, little fish in a big pond. That I do belong here because I have something valuable to contribute. And often the value is who you are as a human being. It's not something that you're actually giving or exchanging or extracting or, it's any of those things. It's the thing that you could not do. Could not do. You know what I mean? It's just how you naturally are in the world. So that's where I am going to leave you, thinking about, does the fortune really favor the brave? I don't know. I actually think that the brave thing to do is to understand the form of wealth that you bring, or the forms of wealth that you bring to all interactions in the world, and act like someone who has value, worth, a voice, and a contribution to make, because you do. So thank you. Thank you for listening in. I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you need any help or framework of being able to share your story in the world through the lens of being yourself, writing like yourself, sharing like yourself, valuing yourself, I would love to give you a free copy of my Storytelling 101 guide, and you will find that at www.kpcreative.com.au/storytelling101. All the links that I've mentioned are in the show notes. And we will be back in September with season 4, bigger, better, more status quo challenging, more paradigm shifting than ever before. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Kylie. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to Wild and Finally Fucking Free. I'm Kylie, your host, and given that I know you would have enjoyed this episode, please do us a favor and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with fellow freedom seekers. Remember, being seen in all our mess and magic helps heal ourselves and the world, because the world needs more wild and finally fucking free humans. Have a great day.